This is the Xbox account for the Middle East. Dubai, the United Arab Emirates. The Chad Xbox Golf account. And as you can see, there is a lack of the rainbow. They do not appreciate the promise that God made that he's not going to flood the earth. However, when you go at the US account of Xbox, as well as the UK and many others, you're going to see the beautiful promise that God is not going to flood the earth being represented. And not only that, you're also going to see a brand new controller, which is covered by the rainbow flag, which you can purchase, of course, for probably $100 or how much it costs. I don't know, right? But you can purchase, you can spend your money, and you can own this. However, there is no such promotion here. Like right here is just video games, right? No LGBT representation, no celebrating of Pride Month. And I think I know why. It's because it's already a very progressive place. It's the United Arab Emirates. I mean, it doesn't need any more progress. It already achieved human perfection. You cannot criticize the United Arab Emirates. Like, do you ever see anyone in the academia or a progressive Democrat criticizing the United Arab Emirates? No, because they're already perfect. This is the gold standard that other nations strive to get towards. Now, all jokes aside, what I do find interesting is that there are still people who believe that Xbox supports LGBT rights. Okay, in reality, what Xbox supports is making money. It's called capitalism, baby. It looks at the progressive stack like a bunch of pay piggies. And they're like, oh, these little pay piggies, they're going to pay $50 if we just spray paint over an Xbox controller. And they're going to feel that they're excellent people while they're purchasing from us. We are going to milk this community dry. We are going to take all their money and give it to our greedy investors. Right? Because you have a group of people in the United States, which consider themselves to be left-leaning, that are taking La Revolucion. They're against capitalism. They're against the cisgender, patriarchal, heteronormative society. And to prove that they are like this, they're going to buy an Xbox controller. Because, hey, you can still criticize the society and you can still live under it, right? By purchasing Xbox products. Now, I understand this. I pretty much understand this marketing, and I find it absolutely hilarious when certain people and gamers call it out for what it is. Because no one asked for this, and I agree. You know what people ask for? People ask for exclusive games on the Xbox console. Like something that everyone cares about. I care about it. You care about it. The LGBT community cares about it. Like the LGBT community, they want Xbox exclusives. I guarantee to you. But why should Xbox do this? Because it costs money. Isn't it easier to just spray paint over a console and say, oh, this is progressive. We support, we champion the current event. Oh, aren't we a progressive company? Our CEO is probably a homosexual. He's not. Why not? Why isn't the CEO of Xbox a homosexual? That is a question that people should answer, though. Like, why the lack of representation at the head of the company? Or the board, for that matter. If they're really for LGBT rights. Why not? Why is there such a huge lack of representation? But my point is, what they are doing here is deflecting from actual criticism. Right? Like, they don't want to talk about the fact that there are no exclusives for their platform. So instead, they want to deflect. And in order to deflect, they also attack the fans, right? Because this is what happens when a company stops delivering the product that the customer asks for. And it's like, no one asked you for a reply, but here we are. How many times do you see a company bad-mouthing the customer, the client? Like, obviously this guy cares about Xbox, right? Because otherwise he wouldn't talk. I mean, I don't care about Xbox. I don't give a shit. Which is why I'm not even going to reply to this. Right? When they're going to make exclusive games for their console, then I'll purchase it. Until then, do whatever the fuck you want. You know, and if it bothers you, by the way, like here's the tip. If it bothers you that Xbox is celebrating Pride Month or whatever, you can always just follow the Xbox Middle East account and you're getting all of this without the bullshit. Right? So like the opportunity is there. Like they're providing a content for homophobic people. Okay? Like if you don't want any of this, you can go to the sanitized version of Xbox Middle East account and you're not going to get any of it. You know, just learn Arabic. Just learn the language that is being spoken in the United Arab Emirates, and Xbox wants to help you out. Like, they are willing to give you the product that you ask for. But in the meantime, right, if you badmouth the corporate virtue signal, because at the end of the day, this is what it is, right? Like, it's the corporate virtue signal. You are going to get a reply from the corporation saying, oh, well, no one asked for this, you know, like a little bit of snark. And what's interesting is that PlayStation also feels the need to pitch in. Screw the customer relation when your customer is being a twidiot. Muy interesante. The official PlayStation Uranus Twitter account. Orbit asks for gaming content on your favorite games. I don't think it's an official account, but it's still just adding to the level of hilarity that we are witnessing here. Because probably PlayStation is like this as well. Right? This is America right now. This is America. Corporations pretending to be for social justice and championing minorities in order to sell a product to people that want to overthrow capitalism. Isn't it beautiful? Like the circus that we are all taking part in. And you're not allowed to notice this. Like, this is a war on noticing. Like, you're supposed to, oh no, this is so progressive. And if you complain, if you criticize it, oh, it's because you're a homophobe. Yeah. If you do not like the publicity stunt paid by one of the richest corporations in the world, clearly you are homophobic, okay? Because, I don't know. It's such a weird culture. Like, if you were to make a book about it and have a time machine and take it 5 years into the past and say, I'm a homophobe. Like, why? What did you do? I didn't agree with the Xbox marketing team. Yeah, it's like very interesting. Or the concept that a corporation would talk back to its client. They could have ignored this. And by the way, if you go to their Twitter, you will see that overwhelmingly the responses are negative. Because again, the problem is that they don't have game exclusives. Like, this is what everyone is focused on. And instead of that, instead of focusing that issue, they're doing this. They're deflecting. And again, you know, like, they don't do this during Christmas time. Like, you're not going to see an Xbox Christian-like controller to celebrate Christmas. And when a person says, hey, I'm an atheist, I don't feel included, you're not going to see Xbox responding to that and attacking the person. Oh, that's not very Christian of you. Yeah, you're a very sinful young man, aren't you? Like, here we have no tolerance for sin. You're probably like a filthy communist that doesn't celebrate Christianity. Go back to the Soviet Union, my comrade. You know, like, they're not going to do that. Very interesting. And again, you may say, well, they're championing the LGBT causes. Well, not on Xbox Golf, they're not. Where is the consistency? Oh, maybe they care about the money. Right? And this is very interesting because on Xbox Golf, it wouldn't be illegal for them to also support LGBT issues. I mean, it's on the internet, it's on Twitter, right? It's not like it's their official stores, the brick and mortar stores that they have in the United Arab Emirates. No, it's just like the Twitter account, right? So even on their Twitter account, they don't have the balls to show their conviction, to show how much they care and how good of an ally they are to the LGBT people that actually do need help. You know, like in the United States, the LGBT community is extremely represented. Like, I think when people in Hollywood, when people in politics, when corporations and everyone celebrates you, when Wall Street celebrates you, I think you're not marginalized anymore. Then I suggest that you're mainstream. Especially when you have, like, American embassies raising your flag this month. I think you have managed to push the pendulum the other way, and you're now mainstream. However, the people from the United Arab Emirates are genuinely marginalized, right? Like, the LGBT community here is legitimately marginalized. Like, here is where a company could actually help. But for some reason, they don't want to help here, and they're going to pretend that they're helping here. Absolutely beautiful. You know, and if you point it out, remember, you're a homophobe. The gaming community is apparently filled with homophobes because if you go here and you click and you read through the comments, I mean, you can do this right now, just read through the comments, and you'll see that overwhelmingly the comments are negative. But you're not allowed to point this out, right? Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.